Hi, this is Tiim Starling. I'm here to introduce to you another great game concept. It's both for the educational realm and the non-educational realm. What is this game? Well, the game is going to be taking an old Jewish story, Joseph, and put it in modern times. Welcome to the game, The Life of Joseph. This game goes through the life of the character Joseph. His life is split up into 5 different acts, and is a mixture of both RPG and sim. In the game, there are a few things that you will need to know. Every act will have the following image on the lower left-hand corner of the screen. This is the character information page. In this section, you will be able to see the act that you are at, the actions that are provided, and the level that you are at. Now that you know the background of the game, it's time to go over each act individually, starting with Act 1. The act begins with Joseph being with his family. You need to interpret 5 dreams to get the bonus. Now, what is the bonus? Well, the bonus is the jacket or coat you received from your father. Once you receive that, Act 1 ends. Now that you know the background of Act 1, it's time to look to see the gameplay.
The first item that is available is a Torah bar. In this bar, the more the player reads the Torah, the larger the bar becomes. When the player gets to 100, the player will level up his reading ability of the Torah. The second bar is the prayer bar. In this bar, the prayer bar increases when he/she prays. The player will level up when the prayer bar becomes 100. When this occurs, along with the Torah bar, the player will be able to interpret dreams better. The more difficult the dream, the more level that will be needed to understand it.
Act 2. Well, Act 2 starts off with you and your jacket being destroyed by your brothers. And not only that, your brothers tell your father that you're dead. You have 2 new bars in this act, and one of the new bars, the approval bar, must be at 100 in order for Act 2 to end. Now that you know a little bit of the background of Act 2, let's go ahead and look to see how the gameplay works.
Now that you are a slave, some of your bars have changed. The first bar is now the approval bar. This bar increases when you have done a deed that is pleasing to your new master. Once a bar has reached 100, you can level up and can perform larger tasks and objects that will help you in the second bar. The second bar is the Potiphar's wife bar. This bar works just like the first bar. In this bar, you have to avoid her advances by using the material that you have gained from your approval bar to your advantage. For example, you work hard on a task by your master to clean the floors and he approves by giving you chocolates. You can use the chocolates to help you get Potiphar's wife away from you.
Act 3. Potiphar's wife has accused you of advancements. So now she has convinced her husband to throw you in jail. In this act, all items you received in the previous act are gone. The 3 bars are back, the Torah, prayer, and dream bar. And you must level up the dream bar. Once you get that dream bar at 100, you can interpret Pharaoh's dream and the act ends. Now that you know the background of this act, let's go ahead and look at the gameplay of Act 3.
The bars are returned to Act 1 bars. There is the prayer bar that you use in order to clearly interpret the dreams, along with the Torah bar that helps with the interpreting of dreams.
Act 4. In this act, the game switches from RPG to sim mode. You are now the second-hand man to Pharaoh, and you have 3 new bars you must deal with. You must first plant and store grain for the upcoming drought. And you need 20 silos full of grain for Act 4 to end. Once you have done that, you will be able to start Act 5. Now let's go ahead and look at the gameplay.
The first bar is a grain bar. In this bar, the more you plant, the more grain you are able to produce. You must be careful though, because grain costs money, and if you run out of money, Pharaoh won't be happy. This goes with the second bar, which is the money bar. In this bar, you keep track of how much money you have made. The last bar is the surplus bar. In this bar, you must have accumulated 20 full silos in order to meet the minimum requirement for the drought. Once the silos are filled, Act 4 ends.
Act 5. Your brothers come for you for food. There are 2 new bars in this act, and the game ends when the cup is hidden. Let's go ahead and look at the gameplay of Act 5.
The first bar is a trick bar. In this bar, you must keep your identity hidden from your brothers. If it dips below 50%, then you must start the scenario over. You can fool them by ignoring them, changing your appearance, or treating them with cruelty, or opening up your arm, but each time you make a choice, your bar will move. The second bar is the hidden bar. In this portion of the game, the more you fool them, the easier it is to sneak a gold cup into one of your brother's sacks. When you can finally do this, the game ends with you showing your brothers the real you.
Now that you've seen the concept of the game, I bet you have some questions, so let's get to those right now. Now, things you should know. Well, first of all, what is the game intended for? The game is intended for students, teachers, and churches. The game teaches people how to forgive others. And of course, the game incorporates many popular game genres into one game, that being RPG and Sims. Now, what makes this game so great is the fact that it is a story that is classical. The game deals with betrayal and forgiveness. And the setting, of course, is done in modern times, but with the information of the past. The characters are in the game are, of course, Joseph, Joseph's brothers and dad, Potiphar and his wife, the Pharaoh, and the prisoners. Now, what makes this game really fun is the ability to interact with many people. It's again designed for educational, non-educational, and churches alike. And the reason why I would buy this game is because it is a classical story, one that I enjoy. Thank you so much for listening to the game concept of Joseph. I can't wait to hear from you again.